The idea is just to record a chat, get to know you, and we can talk about anything you want to talk about. And yeah, that's it.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
So, all right. So you were saying you were born in Belgium, yeah?
Yeah, born in Belgium, and I was raised. Then I came back. I think I was there for like 2 years, and I came back to India.
All right.
And since then, been here.
All right, cool. And when did you start making music? Are you a musician initially, or?
No, actually, so that's the fun part. So when I was in like high school, that time I was like really into it, and that time when we had those kind of softwares like Sony Acid, the softwares which were like so obsolete. So I used to dabble with them, and I used to try a lot that time. And then I thought about getting into sound engineering right out of school. But then I unfortunately did not follow through. I went and did IT, became a computer engineer, and did not do anything related to that. Finished 4 years of my life doing something really stupid. Barely scraped through. And then instead of getting back into music, so that time I actually thought like it's too late for me. Yeah. So I was like, I don't think I can get back into this music thing because I barely know anything now, and I'm so out of it because I was during my college years, I was like really not into it anymore. So I was like, let's not do it. So I opened up a small cafe and I ran a cafe for a year.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, so it's been like a weird kind of a journey. So I ran a cafe for a year. It was fun and everything. Did not work out. Finally had to shut it down after a year. Then I had nothing to do. So basically then I was like, I don't know, I have a degree, but I cannot pursue it because I have no clue what that degree does. So I have no idea. And my cafe was a bust. So then I was like, now exactly what should I do? I don't know how things work. So my friend randomly just came to me and he was like, dude, there's a small course out here for 2 months. It's like a workshop course out here in Mumbai. It was like DJing and production. So it was like a 2 month small workshop. You just go there, and a very small place, not a big institute or anything. Just like a 2-room kind of a small little place. And that is how actually I got back into it. So I was like, all right, sounds like fun. I really don't know what to do with my life right now. Maybe I could, try doing this.
That's awesome.
That. Yeah. So that is how when I actually, and I was lucky enough to find a really good teacher who really kind of like reignited the kind of interest I had in music. And from there, I've never looked. Like since then, like I've done 2 months of that production course and DJing. And that is like back in 2013. And since then, I have not looked back. I have just stuck to this.
That's great. How old are you now?
I am 29.
Okay, 29. So in 2013, you were 23?
20, yeah. 20, yeah, 23, correct.
So you actually thought it was too late for you to make music even back.
Yeah, I know. Actually, it was more of like something of my, I just did not feel like it. I was like, since you were like, I was doing something which is so stupid, and I was in a kind of a circle which is completely different. So life was completely different that time, and I was not really into all these kind of things. I was like, all right, music, whatever, I used to like it, but now I'm not into all these kind of things. So that is how actually I was like, yeah, I'm not going to get back into this. I don't think this is for me. But, I believe in the spiritual energy, something works out, and when you're meant to be, it has to happen, right?
Right. And so tell me a little bit more about that teacher that was really supportive. And did he really help you out at the beginning, or how did you find?
So basically, it was a 2-month course based on Ableton. So it was an Ableton course. It was a small, short course, and we were going there almost like I think 3 to 5 days a week, and for like 1.5 to 2 hours.
And how many of you were there?
We were like 3 of us in one batch.
Okay.
So this friend of mine and 1 or 2 others. So this friend of mine and we were really into it, and we were really actually looking forward to this kind of thing, and it was fun. We were both kind of like free. We did not have much to do, much else to do. So then when we met this guy was so cool. And, the way he approached, like some people are born to teach, So he was like one of those guys who was born to teach. He had like a tattoo of a blackboard out here. So like, he was one of those guys who knew he's come to this world to actually impart knowledge.
Cool.
So that guy really came from, like, started from the basics, even like taught us like the kind of, I had no clue about music theory. He gave us like enough basics about music theory that you could really grow into it and you could like really get somewhere. And I think that foundation really helped me a lot. So when I did that, and of course, because I was really into it and I was having a lot of fun with this guy, so I used to go home and whatever I was taught, I was like, dabbling around, putting in tracks, trying to create mashups, trying to produce something, doing something. You know how the early days is, you've been there. The first few days where you just put on anything and whatever you make, you still think like, wow, I made something. This is so cool, right?
Just add a bunch of loops and see what happens.
Exactly. That was it. So
cool.
That is how that whole thing happened.
And what happened at the end of the course after the 2 months?
So basically, at the after the end of the 2 months, we had this kind of a thing about project. So you have to make a new song.
Yeah.
With your professor. So basically, that time what happened was there was a competition. There was a remix competition on Vevo, that platform. If you've heard Vevo.
Which platform? Sorry.
Vevo. WAVO. There's a platform. It's not that big now, and that time it had just come out, and there was this track by Paul Van Dyke and Christian Burns.
Okay.
And there was a remix challenge. So basically, we thought, we thought, let's do that. So I kind of like, I saw that online and I was like, he's like, all right, sir, we have to make something. So this friend of mine, I and my professor, we're like, all right, let's do this. Let's like, if you're going to make something, let's make something like this. So we did a kind of like a almost 36 to 40 hour session because the deadline was right next day. And because I found it really late. So we did a like long session, which was a lot of fun. And that track ended up being on rank 1 when we released, on that. After that, I don't know, I think the whole competition got dissolved. Nothing. There were no results which came out eventually. I don't know what happened about that. But we were top trending on that thing. So that was like a major confidence booster.
Yeah.
So after that, I've always been in touch with my professor, and over the days, I kept on making my music. And obviously, in the beginning, there was no paid work. It was like making your own music and trying something new. Let's try this. Let's try that. That is how the initial stages were.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, were you at the beginning, like, were you making all your own music, or were you also doing remixes of other people's music, or?
Yeah, I think a little bit of everything. I was just like kind of like trying to get hold of all these kind of things. So that time I was like really into, since I was making my own music, I was like really not doing any kind of paid work, because obviously that time you're not even like qualified to do that kind of work, right? That time you're kind of finding your space. So I was really into trance music. I was a huge Armin fan and all these things. So I used to listen to all of this, and I had like this kind of set of friends who used to come over to my place, small home studio setup, and you just play around, dabble. So I think that the first year went kind of in that space where I was like trying to find my sound. I was trying to sharpen my skills, going through videos, and trying to see how do you do this.
Were you making music every day at that stage, or did you have a full-time job? Or
every day. I think I was actually, at least during the whole day, even if I like have anything else, because I did not have a job.
Okay.
Yeah, I had no job. In the middle, I tried for 2-3 months or something, but I had no job. I was just doing music, and my friends were coming over. We were working on music with them, like, all my set of people. So it was like, I was lucky enough to have these kind of people around me who were also into kind of music. They did not want to learn how to produce and all that, but they were really interested in like seeing the process. So it was kind of like a fun thing. So that is how I think the initial 1 year kind of just went in that, trying to hone my skills.
Cool. And that was for like the first year or the first 2-3 years?
I think that was for the first year or two, during which, so basically during that time, I had a friend who had a nightlife company out here.
Okay.
So to kind of like pay my bills and everything, I was DJing in like clubs out here. So he used to throw a lot of events that time. So that kind of became like my bread and butter sauce, which was like I was going and like almost every weekend I was playing somewhere. So DJing was the kind of thing. I was never actually really, you know, I never wanted to be a DJ. I really wanted to be inside the studio and make music. That was my thing. But you know, it paid the bills, so I was doing it. So I guess I would say the first couple of years was all about DJing professionally and mainly making music every day, trying to do something new, and you know, trying to come up with something interesting. In that process, I kind of like made my first single, which I like really liked, and that is what I released. Like that is one track is there on my YouTube, Feel Alive. That is my first track which I released like as an official track. And
that was in 2015.
That was, I guess so. Yeah, I think so. I'll again have to check online.
Yeah, but it was about
yeah, it's been a blur. But yeah, I think around that time, and 2015, 2016. So that was my first single. And during that time, I think I started getting a little bit of small, you know, these kind of works, like making music for apps and all that, sounds for small little things, because I had like a few friends here and there in the IT sector and everything. So a little bit of small little work, not something big.
And were they just coming to you because they knew you were making music, or did you reach out to them?
These like this initial time when I was like doing kind of like work for hire kind of stuff was coming through my friends. It was not really, you know, it was not something which I was getting from anywhere. It was just coming to my friends and everything, and it was nice. It kind of like gave me an opportunity to really, you know, try different things and all that, because who would try to make sounds for apps, right? Like if you're not getting paid. So it was interesting. Tried doing all that. So, but the good thing which I did during that time, which I think really kind of like changed everything, was the platform Sound Better.
Sound Better?
Sound Better. So if you, I don't know if you've seen the platform or have you used it. I'm not sure.
It rings a bell. Let me check. Let me check what it looks like. It rings a bell, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So basically, this is the platform which kind of like changed everything for me.
So it's a platform where you can find like where there's singers, mixers, and basically people collaborate to you can hire.
Not exactly collaborate. So basically, this is a kind of like a freelance platform where any client, any person can come and hire people like you and me. So it is that kind of platform. Cool. So this is where I actually initially I just came across it randomly, and I just made my platform, a profile. Okay. I just randomly made my profile. I was like, we'll see what happens.
As a music producer then?
Yes, as a music producer. So basically now if you'll see, so when it comes to, I now am a regular in the top 50 kind of producers in that platform. Luckily, because I've been there for a while and I've been working continuously through that platform a lot. So that was the kind of like the thing which let me stay in music. Because,
and sorry to interrupt, but on that platform you never paid to be at the top of the results, right?
No, there's nothing actually there. You cannot pay for anything in Sound Better.
That's something I want to put forward, because there, you know, different services where you can like pay to be the featured artist or to be the, you know, so I think it's interesting as well that you can get that without, you know, just because you've been there from the start of the platform or towards the beginning of the platform and you've been there for a while, that you know, that persistence and that continuity is rewarded.
Yeah. So actually, even for the viewers who will be like seeing all this, like, I always try to like tell, like a lot of people have come, like even the local musicians out here have asked me like, how have you managed to work with people around the world? And like, it's so much fun, right? When you're working with people from the Middle East to Canada to US to Europe, everywhere. So yeah, it is so much fun to work on such different kind of music, and it's all through Sound Better. So they've asked me, and you know, they've told me, how did you get there and what did you do? Like the obvious question is, did you pay for something and all that? So there is nothing which you can pay. You get a premium membership only when they allow you to get a premium membership. So until they know that you're a serious provider and you've been on the platform for a while, only then they will let you upgrade to a premium thing, in which you don't get any search result. You just basically get all the new proposals where you'll see if a client is looking for a service. So you'll see it first, and you'll be able to, you know, give the kind of proposals if you want to. So I tell you, the only way, the reason I actually came up on that portal was just because I was doing in the beginning, and you have to, anybody who's coming up and he was trying to do something, I was producing complete tracks for $150, complete end-to-end tracks.
Yeah.
Right? It is impossible, like you and I know how much blood, sweat, and tears
Yeah.
like goes into making a complete track. And I was doing it because I knew it. If I actually want to do something, and if I want to be in this space, you have to get there. You have to build your name and get there. If I like started in the beginning and I was like, all right, I charge $500 per track. Who are you, right? That's
Paying
a
dues.
lot of yeah. That's a lot of problem with a lot of people I personally even know. They make their profiles and they start with 500, 700 and everything. And I'm like, why will they even hire you? This is an online platform. They don't know who you are. And unless you actually work with Grammy nominated producers and you have that kind of a portfolio, you really cannot command that kind of money.
Cool. And how do you have, so you started around $150 per track. How did you manage to raise how often did you raise your prices?
So basically, for at least, I think, a couple of years, I did not. I would just go, probably year and a half or couple of years, probably roughly. I did not, because I was trying to increase my number of reviews. So that is the only way you can actually come higher in the results, right? So I was just trying to do the best I could in the limited amount of money which I was getting. But I was actually focusing on, so that I get more work, I can get more reviews, and I can slowly build my name on that platform. And luckily, because of being on that platform, so a lot of search results, even on like Google and everything, when people started searching locally out here, my name started coming up.
Okay.
Because of the work which I've done with people across the globe, then I started getting these local clients as well.
Okay.
Kind of like made things easier for me, which I could then I could keep my rate at that level, and get this work as well. And it was like, all right, I was not like floating in the air, and I was not like I'm not running away to Vegas anytime soon. But it was like I was really happy because music was paying my bills. Right?
So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And so on the platform, you charge like $150 for a year and a half, 2 years.
Right.
But what you're saying is that locally you were able to charge a little bit more, when you were having new customers, you could charge more.
Yeah. So basically it was not exactly about, it was almost like, if in Indian rupees, it was almost the same I was charging for the production. But when it came to like different services, in terms of like when you're local out here, so a vocalist wants to work with you, so then you need to take him to the recording studio, and you need to record him, then different kind of services, then those kind of like supplemental services come into play. So that is the kind of thing. So it was all about a game of a little bit of volume and trying to kind of settle and make a name for yourself where you can now get steady work. And then I think after that, I reshuffled it, increased my rates, tested the market. Then finally now I just recently, I think a few months ago, I just came up with my website. Finally.
Okay. Right. And during that period, like how many tracks would you produce every week or every month?
So I think on an average, my average has been around, even till date, I guess, I think the average hasn't changed much unless it's a crazy month. 4 to 5 tracks a month.
Yeah. Yeah, it's difficult to do more, right?
Right. Unless you start like a kind of like a production team or something.
Yeah.
Which would be maybe eventually people can look at it, like people like you and me can connect, and we're like globally connected. So then, it makes more sense, because I really kind of like see, after working on an online platform, like I actually saw what you did on your platform and the kind of content you released, which was like really helpful. And I kind of realized there's so much, right? There's such a big market out there. And I don't know why people like you and me are not connected and we're not working together, because it's so easy nowadays. Like you and I are talking, I'm all the way in India. You're in Paris.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so it's like there's so many things which you can do eventually, but yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, I'm interested because you work. I do as well. Like I work online and I work locally. And at first, I started almost 100% online because I was living in London, so I wasn't with I wasn't close to my family and friends, and I had time to kill after work basically. So I
Right.
started online almost exclusively, and fairly recently I started working locally as well. And I find that both are incredibly rewarding because like online it's just as you mentioned sometimes it's just complete magic that we're speaking together. It's
Right.
just it's incredibly it's moving. I just think it's awesome. But at the same time, working locally, you can build like really strong connections, and there's something there's something more I don't know, human sometimes, that right away if it's working or if it's not, because you've got that live feedback. um, what's your business, what does your business look like? Is it half and half, local and online, or is there a type of work
So
that you're doing?
I think now I think it is kind of like it is almost half and half basically. I think volume comes from online. The numbers are higher in online, but locally, because there are like the industry, because of there's a film industry out here, and there's an ad film industry out here. So those are obviously uh, higher income projects. So so basically the numbers are lower, but the amount you're looking at, the kind of income you're looking at from these small, like these projects, are higher.
Yeah.
Online, definitely the numbers are higher. So it's almost there. It's
Yeah.
almost kind of balanced.
All right.
Because yeah, locally, obviously, just you're making these kind of corporate kind of things. Obviously, corporate, uh, they pay more, right?
Yeah. They have more money.
Yeah, exactly.
And um, yeah, I wanted to ask your DJing career. Did did you feel like it helped you at all in your work as a producer? Like, did
Yeah.
it give you like exposure, or did it give you inspiration for production?
So I don't think exposure of any kind, probably because out here the kind of like the DJing scene is not that kind of like interesting out here, unless you're doing Bollywood, which I wasn't doing. I was doing electronic music. So I I don't think exposure was there, but yeah, because you're kind of like continuously making sets, so you're kind of like exposed to a lot of different music, a lot of new music. You're kind of like listening to like incredible remixes. So like you get to know a lot of different artists, and you kind of get to know so many sounds where you get inspired, like how did they do that? So
Yeah.
obviously that kind of thing has really helped, because even like simple things like how Seeb remixes a lot of tracks. I love that art, like those guys I love. So these kind of like small artists, and even like, for the matter, SHRAi. So now, incredible stuff, and and the kind of like I kind of have learned, looking at SHRAi, how to actually make something from scratch, like a track from scratch. So a lot of artists come over here who want to make something from scratch. They don't have any idea what they want to do. So I've kind of like learned from him that imagine a video and then go behind and then start working on it. Visually, if it makes sense, it'll come to you. So definitely, DJing kind of has helped with that.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
And so you started the website last year, a couple of years ago. When did you start your website?
Website has
It's
no.
SHRAiproductions.com, right?
That's like a few months ago. Just now. It's just recent.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what motivated you to create your own website? Like how did you get started? Was there any
So
specific?
no, basically, actually, yeah. So I kind of like, so now this is my new studio.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I
Good.
just
From where
like,
I
I
sit.
made this year, like last year, like few months. So basically, I was moving into this new place, and then I bought this beautiful iMac Pro, which I'm talking to you through, and I was like really happy. Like I actually thought to make a kind of a it's kind of like a name card. So
Yeah.
basically, yeah, it makes it easier for me to connect with people. So like to connect with you, for example, so I could just send you one link, and you had all my information right there. So it's basically for there. It's not just about getting newer work and everything, but it is more about just kind of like establishing what all I have done, and kind of like to command a little bit more uh, kind of presence when it comes to, work and a lot of
Yep.
projects and everything.
Actually, let me share um, let me share your website here directly.
Oh, yes.
So if I look at it, you've got I really like it. It's really easy to go through. So you're featuring your works, you've got
Right.
the discography and the services.
Right.
That's really cool. And I didn't see, do you have the pricing directly on the website, or do you encourage people to take,
No,
ask for a quote?
as per code, because it really cannot. I have, like, over the years, I've kind of like realized it just doesn't work. Having a kind of like a standardized kind of a thing,
Yeah.
because indie artists have a kind of different thing, and there are some musicians who kind of like connect with you, and you really like enjoy listening to the song, and they probably don't have that kind of money, right?
Yeah.
So probably they have like $250 to work on a track.
Yeah.
It's all right. If I really love that song, I'd probably do it, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that. So I kind of cannot like really standardize and make an scare away an artist. I just don't like to do it. I first like to listen to it, and if it works, it works. So
Yeah,
that.
for sure. I mean, there are different, I remember talking to someone who was saying that he likes to put the prices on his website because he wants to charge a lot and he's just not interested in talking to anyone who can't afford it from the get-go.
Yeah,
No, fair enough. There are different ways to do business. So.
exactly. But
And so you launched a few months ago. Are you already getting demands through the website,
yeah,
or?
a lot of people have seen my website, and I since I have, even like, I think locally, I think it has actually been a little bit more,
Yeah.
because a lot of it's coming on my like search and all that is coming, and plus the location and everything is already been put for SHRAi Productions locations there, which
Right.
roots me out here. So all those things have kind of like helped, and it's always fun to like send a client, like if your local clients, all right, you want to come over to my place, SHRAi Productions, here's the location. Click on the link and you'll come here. So yeah, those kind of things. So it's a little bit fun, but yeah. So I think locally it has kind of helped a little bit, and I have received a few direct kind of like mails, but nothing has really culminated from it. But yeah, it's
Good.
still in the working stages. I'm still looking at maybe building the website a little bit, building a little bit of content, because right now the blog is kind of like dead. There are 4 blogs which I had written, and I'm like, all right.
Yeah, just to get content. All
Right.
right. So like 6 years on, you started around 6 years ago. You got back into music about 6 years ago.
That's
What would you like? What would you say were? What would you do differently if you were starting? If you were starting now, what would
okay.
you do differently?
Okay. If I would be doing this differently, wow, it'd be quite interesting. I think I would be more open towards collaborating with people, and setting up partnerships.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I would actually see the merit in it, because I know you everybody, it's human nature. You get greedy a little bit, and you have a little bit of network, and you think this guy wants to give me a job, and he's giving me only $300. I don't want to share the money,
Yeah.
and then you end up doing not that great a work, and you don't even learn, which you could have done something. So I think those kind of mistakes, I think I have done, just to get more and more stuff, and kind of like get by. But I think if I would have started now, and I would suggest for anybody who's actually starting out, just go, and don't look at the smaller kind of like prize money right now, because right now you'll be talking about $150, and you'll be like, oh no, I don't want to share any penny of that. That is not the way to go about it. Don't think about the money. Just keep on going at it. Work with everybody. Work with whoever you can, and try to learn whatever you can, because it'll be even faster for you to get to that level where you'll be kind of like commanding a kind of an income, which kind of like, I think it took me a lot longer. So I think
Yeah.
if people could do that, then I think that would help.
Yeah, it's something I've noticed in my own business actually. The less I think about the money, the more it seems it comes in.
Exactly.
Which is, I think, I don't know, maybe it's a little bit like, when you're single and you're looking for someone, it's like there's something like people can, it's like you look needy and people don't want to hang out with you. And maybe it's the same with money, you know. So if you're thinking too much about money, people mistrust you.
Oh, I think I completely agree, because I think it has happened to me like so many times. In the beginning, I actually lost clients, and because it's not because the work was bad or anything, but I like they probably had enough of that. Like they did one track and they were like, all right, it's good, it's good. I could have done it a lot better if I would have taken a little bit of help from around, and if I had partnered up with people, because then slowly now, like I now partner up with a lot of people. I have a lot of local people who I partner up with, and even like from mixing services abroad. So I have partnered up with a lot of people. So then what happens is you get the best product and you end up getting a lot bigger project. So I've done this with a few clients and they've ended up giving me the whole album.
Yeah.
They've tested one track with me and they've ended up giving me the whole album. So you have to look at the bigger picture. You want to get the best out there. You don't think about the money, think about the product, and you will get there. You just have to get it.
And it's also, I think, when you start being more open to collaboration. And I've been the same as you. Like with my music, I have trouble to collaborating, because it's like my vision, and so it's easy to get stuck in like your thing, but then it's like it's harder to grow as well if you don't welcome those outside influences. And something that's amazing when you start bringing people in is that when they're too busy, if you're generous with them, they'll be generous with you as well. So there might come a time where they're too busy and, they just send work your way because you gave them an opportunity before. But it's not about being calculating and thinking, okay, I'm going to help him because he may help me down the line. It's just kind of something that happens naturally when, at least in my experience, it's just like once you're open to just helping others, people are open to helping you, which is pretty incredible.
Yeah,
really. All right, cool.
And that, I think your whole website is based on that, right? You're like committed to helping others, and that is how I actually even came across your name and your content and everything. And I was like, that is so much fun, because obviously not everybody knows about all these things. And I think I do remember it was about sync music, which you had, one of those articles. I had read that, and those things really help. And those things, I think people are grateful. So when I did read it, I was actually sending, like, unconsciously or subconsciously, I was sending positive energy to like whoever this person is. Thank you so much, because you've done it so easily, and now I can understand. Okay, this is what this means, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you mentioned earlier, and I think it's you phrase it in a great way about like how at the beginning when you start with music again, you were just in that phase where you were trying to find your space.
Correct.
And I think that happens for music, but it also happens for the business side of things, where the more projects you work on, the more you realize what you enjoy working on, and the more you can develop as a professional, really.
Agreed.
And
it is a necessary evil, right? It is a necessary thing as well. You have to know how to run it. Otherwise, you just can't expect a manager to come and fly by and like kind of like help you out with all the intricacies. You really need to learn it on your own, and it's not that difficult actually. It can get a little bit of fun if you're enjoying your work.
Yeah,
I do that.
And so, in terms of like business, how did you get? Are you like an independent worker? Did you set up a company, or how did you?
No. Independent sole proprietorship. So
okay.
It was. I did not go into any of these things because I've really done it a lot and like failed miserably at it so many times. Like during college, I tried a lot of things, So I've tried to do a lot of different things and with a lot of different people because I was all over the place. So after doing all that, I kind of knew that this is not going to be something which I want to do like something stupid with. Let's keep it simple. Let's be clear and have a small module set. So once you go through a lot of projects, then you automatically kind of like learn the ropes and you kind of understand, all right, this part will cost this much, this part will cost this much to you. Like you have to understand what it will cost to you, and then you can think about what you can charge to the other person. So so that kind of like all those failed businesses kind of helps with that.
Yeah, I was gonna ask about that. So the coffee place was useful.
I think everything you do in life kind of like does help. Like get somewhere. So I think even that like 4 years of like miserable college doing computer engineering probably shaped my personality. So today I could be who I am, right? So
Yep.
I could be more objective about things and probably a lot of different things. So no complaints, I guess.
All right. So I have another couple of questions for you. You can, whatever order you prefer. The first one was like, um, you know, when did you start? When were you able to pay your bills doing, only music production? And the
Right.
second, I just forgot. Yeah, the second is, were they like during the periods where I'm assuming there have been periods where you thought about giving up,
Oh,
and so like, how did you not give up? What made you not give up?
oh, okay. So all right. So I'll actually so then go in that order because I guess uh, the kind of like the moment when you want to like leave it and you don't end up leaving it, I think from that moment on you actually start doing really well, right? So
Yeah.
so I think this happened like I think uh, 3 years back, and I was getting a little bit of work, and I was it was not like I wasn't able to pay my bills because I wasn't like living any kind of like that kind of like a different life. I had my family, so it was not like I had no food on the plate. So it was I did not have that many expenses, but I wasn't really making it. It was like I was getting peanuts, and I was trying, and I was trying to get whatever work, and it wasn't like you really want to like grow, like if you're gonna be in that one stage, so you kind of like get a little bit, uh, I don't know, kind of like you get scared about the whole position, like what are you gonna do like later, what's happening with your life. So I think I did go through that, and then so what happened was I was with my dad, and my dad was called for a diplomatic thing. So he's basically into uh, economics, like commerce and everything. So he was called to South Korea, Seoul, and I went with him. He was like, if you're getting scared and everything, you can see what I do, and maybe you can get into this, try doing this. And I was like, yeah, I'm not going anywhere. I'm kind of like a complete loser right now. Probably I should actually listen to that and like do this. Though my family was always telling me, don't worry about it, you'll get there. But since I was getting a little bit I was panicking so much that I was like, all right, maybe you see this. So I went to Seoul with him and did those couple of days with him, and kind of like saw how he meets people and everything, wore suits and everything around. And I actually that moment I kind of realized like I will be really really bad at this. I really cannot do this. So I was actually freaking out that time.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think like I tell you, God has a way with things. I came back and I got a really big project. As soon as I came back from Seoul, I got a really big project. And once that project started, and I was like really happy, like, okay, that's pretty cool. Okay, I'll do it. And once I started with that, since then, I just started getting work. I don't know how it happened. I just started getting work because I think, energies or whatever,
Yeah.
something up there, somebody up there kind of like saw me and like, all right, I played with you enough. Okay, let me, let me. You can do it. You can continue with music. So it was just like a freak kind of a thing, and just happened. I just got that big kind of job, which was not obviously couldn't have sustained me for more than a month or two, but I just started getting work after that. Continuously. I kept on working, and I was actually not being I was not I had no complaints. I was not complaining about anything. Like I'm not getting time or whatever work I was getting, I was doing it, and I was like putting my heart and soul into it.
Yeah.
And somehow that I got rewarded for it.
Awesome. I really like something similar happened to me actually because I used to work in financial audit and then contract compliance,
Okay.
and it was a really cool job actually because I was traveling around the world, staying in nice hotels, had a company car, was well paid, and I still had plenty of time to work on music during the evening or in the morning or during weekends. But I was like I was really itching to kind of, break out of there. I thought I wasn't, but kind of, then was afraid because, people tell you you need to be an employee and, stability, security, all that. And actually the one of the things that really helped me make that jump was there was this corporate meeting where like all the directors of the company were making presentations about their departments. And I was listening to them speak, and I was like, I really don't want to be them. Like, I was just picturing myself in 15 or 20 years' time, and I was like, no. So for me, that meant like if I did everything right, and I was, I was being promoted one job after the other to
Right.
one of those top positions, that would not make me happy.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
there's no point,
Yeah, and
once
that's
you
a
know
scary,
that, there's no point.
feeling, right? That's a scary feeling. Well, in terms of the world, you're probably doing amazingly well, but you inside can imagine yourself and like, no way, man, no way.
It just, yeah, it didn't make sense. And that's something that, this morning I woke up, and for the first time in a long time, I was actually anxious. I was like, oh no, what if I get super sick and I need, I need to go to the hospital. Can I cover those bills? And I don't know why I got anxious just this morning. And then I thought, well, the alternative, I can't do the alternative, like being in, it's just not possible for me anymore, because even when I'm anxious, for one reason or another, I know that what I do every day, is useful. It helps other people, and it's meaningful, because the goal is to, and it's the goal with this interview as well, is, I want to show people that it's possible to make money from music, and, give them that confidence that it's not easy, and but it's possible. And again, I'm going to go back to finding your place. I think maybe a lot of people start by thinking they want to be like a pop star
Right.
on stage, and then when they do the work, they actually realize they're a songwriter and should be in the background. Or I was obsessed with scoring music for film, and when I started doing it, I was like, oh my god, so many constraints. I actually prefer to do my own thing and upload it to music libraries. So I think that all that work you put up front after the course you took, that was really precious, because it allowed you to find your space and
Exactly.
yeah,
Exactly.
and
I think
develop.
that's a common thing actually. And funny you mentioned this, like you felt anxious today and you were like thinking, what will you do? Actually, the most successful people I personally believe are the ones who do not have a plan B.
Yeah.
They're the most successful people, because you don't have anywhere to go, right? You don't have any place to go. You're gonna do this. You're gonna, there is nothing else. Your brain doesn't work. You're not happy doing anything else, and it's like, well, probably like 7 in the evening in your place, 6:37.
Yeah, 7.
Yeah, and you're hanging out with a guy from India right now, talking to me about music,
Yeah.
thing we both love, and it's fun. This is what life should be like. It's not about, for us at least, right? Some people identify it differently, but I really think no plan B is the best kind of plan. You automatically will 110% make it. Like, this is for all your viewers and everything. They should not keep a plan B. Just go ahead with it. Just dive into it, and you'll get there.
The thing with plan Bs is that you can't tell what's actually going to happen. You can plan for something, and then it's always something else that comes up that you hadn't thought of. So don't be reckless, but don't overcompensate by trying to prepare for anything. It's not possible.
And you proven it, like, in the music space itself, there are so many things which need attention, like, so, like, that article blew up. A lot of people have read about it, and I think even another friend of mine who had started this website, Tracks24, he contacted you because after seeing all that, and I think he got in touch with you about all these things. And that is what happens. There are so many spaces, and people need that kind of a network. people need a community, and there's so much space out there. It's just about, identifying it and just really believing in it. You get a lot of things. You don't have to get out of music, the space of music, and do something else. There's a lot of things in the space.
Yeah. I like that, what you're saying as well, because for when it comes to sync licensing, for example, a lot of people ask me what genre of music they should write in, like what's popular at the moment, what will get licensed. And, I always tell them that if you actually listen to music on TV or in films, or you go on YouTube and you listen to podcasts and you try to, there's a wide variety of things. So like as a composer, as a music producer, your responsibility is to create. And
Right.
then if you want to sell it, you will find a market. If you really enjoyed making it, there's someone who will really enjoy, if the production quality is good enough, there's someone who will enjoy listening to it.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, was there anything else you wanted to share with whoever will be watching this? Do you have any plans for the next couple of years? Do you know the dreaded question, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
So I hope I build a new team of people, and I think I'm going to extend it to the visual part of it as well. So that is I think in the next 2 years, I'll probably have a kind of like a team of people which will be doing all kinds of like sound. I now provide turnkey sound solutions. So any kind of music solutions, from films, ads to independent artists, everything. And then I want to become like a turnkey solution person for videos as well. So
Okay.
yeah, and kind of like budget videos, because I've seen that a lot of clients come to me and they tell me they want to make a video and try something new and everything, and it's really expensive.
Yeah.
And it's not like feasible for a lot of people to spend like $2,000 on a video. So something which can be done, worked out for them. So that is my hope. I can do that for like a lot of independent artists.
So are you gonna learn the skills yourself, or are you looking for someone to work
I
with?
will not learn it anymore. I have decided that I'm not going to learn anymore. My time is done about learning.
Okay.
Now it's about collaborating. It's about yeah. So like
Right.
I know Joyce. So I want, if it comes to like jobs in France, I would connect with Joyce. Like, Joyce, can you handle it?
All
Is
right.
it possible, right? So that is the kind of thing. It's about collaboration. I think that is the best way to grow.
All right, great. Well, I wish you, the best of luck with that project. And of course, if there's anything I can help you with, don't hesitate to reach out to me again.
Yeah. So what are you doing these days? So you're completely into right now sync and everything?
Yeah. So actually, what I'm spending the most time with at the moment is developing creativeandproductive.com. I'm like, it's really what I find the most fulfilling at the moment. So the music I'm doing on the side, almost as a side project, where I'll do it during the evenings and the weekends. I'll do my music, but I'm in this phase where I need to, like in 2016, 17, 2018, I produced a lot of music, and I'm in this phase where I need to kind of regroup and find a new, like I built a lot of confidence producing the music, but it's like now I want to spend more time to focus on a smaller set of tracks and make them hopefully masterpieces. Like I really want to create something that's that I can be really, really proud of. So I made a lot of like production music, which I am proud of, because I think it's a skill and I enjoy that, that idea of being a crafts woman. I really like that, but now I'm more in a phase where I want to be, I want to create something really special in terms of quality. So that's kind of the side project, and I still have my music in music libraries that are working for me. But so the biggest focus now for 2019 is creativeandproductive.com, and just kind of I'm trying to find my space. Like initially I was focused on sync licensing almost 100%. And I'm more and more focused on, on productivity and helping people write songs when they don't have inspiration and stuff like that. Just kind of you know, almost self-improvement for musicians, because I think a lot of the problems we face are kind of made up in our head, you know, where we think we don't have time to make music, or you know, we get all worked up about copyright and stuff instead of, you know, actually just doing stuff and sending music. So I'm trying to figure out a way to help more musicians make more music, basically.
I love it. I love it. Super, super. Doing a great job.
No, well, all we can do is try, right? We can just do our best.
Keep at it. Keep at it. I love it.
All right. Well, it was really great talking to you. And again, if there's anything I can help with, don't hesitate to reach out.
Definitely, definitely. I will be in touch.
Nice. And I'll let you know when I put this out.
Sure, sure. Let me know, please.
All right. Cool.
It was
Bye,
great
SHRAi.
talking to you. Take care. Bye.
You too.
Yeah.